What's going on, YouTube? All three of you that end up watching this video. I'm gonna go through some stuff, some XY era stuff, and what we're doing, basically sorting through them and checking if they're worth grading. Um, these are all my PC cards, and I thought maybe I would go through it with whoever watches, just to show them my standard. I haven't graded a ton, maybe 200 cards, and I think I've got about a 90% Gem 10 rate, which is decent. Just show you what I do, and yeah, we'll go from there. The basic idea was I had collected a binder, was trying to get every hit from the XY era, and that binder is a master set instead of doing all the sets with commons, uncommons. I wanted all the EXs, mega EXs, and such. I have a binder where I'm collecting all the full arts. I have a binder where I'm collecting all full art trainers over the years, chronological order. But in trying to start my own shop here, doing vending, some online sales, trying to get my eBay going and stuff, I wanted to grab stuff from my PC to sell so that I can start getting some cash flow and reinvest that. So what I do when I take in cards, whether I'm at a show or I trade or I buy singles, I'll look over them first if I think they're gradable, if they're a reasonably valued card. Um, Centering, nothing to teach you on that one. You can get a centering tool if you want. I typically eyeball it. I might have a centering tool that I never use. Yeah, see, I haven't even taken it out of the plastic. So we can try this out here just for the sake of it. You can buy them on Amazon. I don't really care for them. So the idea is you line it up with whatever the lines are on the outside. This one's not that great. Dashed or even numbers, solid or odd numbers. So this border is right on the 2, or sorry, the 1, and then this border is between the 1 and the 2, so it's OC a bit. Probably not a 10 candidate. That's the first and only time I'm using that. So beyond that, the biggest thing for me, I think what most people end up missing when they pre-grade is going to be surface issues. I can flip it over. I can see that, hey, this card's in decent shape. I mean, it might be a bit tough for you to see on camera there because I'm not using a great background. So everyone and their mother can take a peek at this and they'll see some whitening in that top corner, right? There's some whitening on the top edge. Got some whitening on the bottom. But when I shine light on it on the surface, it's really hard to capture it on camera, but your human eye will do a much better job. What you'll end up seeing is there's actually a scratch in this card on the surface right here. It looks like it's from factory because it's super straight. And then you can see there's a scratch down here too, actually. And so that's what I think a lot of people end up missing, is they don't take the time to look at the card under the light and try to find those surface issues. You'll find lots of things. Things that are common are things like sort of like a pinhead sized dent. And sometimes that can be just on the back. Or you'll find surface scratches, a printing defect or a scratch where it seems like for whatever reason something was in the machine and put a straight line cut basically up and down or side horizontal straight lines. Pretty well impossible for a human to accidentally put a straight line cut in a card. And the same goes for the fronts. So I'll look at this card at the front. I reflect light on it. Camera doesn't pick it up as well as a human eye does, but I can see there's a surface issue here. And if I can maybe, yeah, tougher on camera to pick up. I flip it over. It's pretty beat up. It's MP. At best, I shine some light off of it. I see some surface splotching, a little maybe dirt or something on there. I don't personally mess around with trying to clean cards much. I don't know a ton about it. I have used, the good old spit on your finger to maybe get an obvious piece of dirt off a back or something, but beyond that, I don't mess around with them. But all we do going through these cards that I collected, oh god, 8-9 years ago. So in this one, you'll see damage there on that left side, right by my left thumb there. You can see those dents in the card, right? If it's sitting like that, it looks fine. Looks like a decent card, right? It's a good binder card. But those surface issues there. I've been contemplating getting a decent scanner. They're about 900 to 1400 Canadian. And they'll take high-res images and scans. And this one also has some stuff going on the surface. Can't quite see, maybe. Go in there or something. No. So another issue on this card is that top left corner is a little bent. Flip it over. MP at best. That's probably HP in my mind. And you've got a bunch of little dirt smudges and things on there that you can see. And you can see the scratching on this side. So at that angle, I'm getting some of it. So this card's seen better days. It's MP bordering on heavily played probably. And all I'm doing with this is if I have an MP or a oh sorry, this isn't MP. What am I saying? It's damaged on the front. Derp. Right there. Dents. Looks like binder dents. So for you, out there, a binder dent. Let's see if I can do it real quick for you. I've got some binders in my cupboard here. This is a look back at the OG collection for you guys. So you get a binder like this, right? I have about feels like a million. So this is some of my XY era when I was trying to master set everything. So in like 2014, 2015, I would buy collections off people. I would sort them, and I would binder all the, the non-hits and value cards. But what you'll get with binder dents is these rings, okay? What you'll see is if you fill the binder too much, the ring down at the bottom is going to press on cards and card faces. So I would avoid doing the binders with the hold 3-punch pages. I've got a bunch of reverses and hollows in here that I seriously got to go through and sort. But like this is Legendary Treasures. It's all in order from release. There's Pokemon League. Yeah, see, I got too much crap in here. But it's proof that, hey, I'm not a scalper and I'm not some dude that just joined Pokemon because there's money in it, because these cards weren't worth anything. Pokemon League card in good shape. Pretty cool. But yeah, so you'll see that what happens when I close this is this ring, because it's a circles, it's going to press down on these back pages because this binder is too full, okay? And when it does that, it creates a dent in the side of the card, and it's usually in the middle third of the card. Look at that, World Championship Kangaskhan EX. Let's get you out of there. This is... And I have like 10 more binders of this. I am literally was going from base set until modern. That's what I was doing. I was doing it during 2020. I started on Sword and Shield again. I was doing Darkness Blaze, Vivid Voltage, Battle Styles. I was master setting Evolving Skies. Whoa, I have a full art in here? Okay. Clearly, I didn't do a very good job of going through these back in the day. That's actually ridiculous. Oh, damaged. Seen better days. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice and creasy. Just the way we like them. Yeah, so that's a binder dent. Sorry for the weird tangent. And this is not how to binder your collections. Okay? Especially now that a lot of cards are worth money. And of course I get some dirt on here. This is my Temu brand mousepad. I paid $9 for a custom mousepad. Pretty cool. So that's how you get some binder dents. So use the binders, preferably side-loading binders that have the pages in them already and there's no rings. This card's in rough shape. HP for sure. So yeah, what I did back in the day, it was Evolutions came out, and I wasn't into Pokemon at the time. I'd been on and off over the years. But a friend was having a wedding. Another friend came to town for that wedding. We were just picking some stuff up before heading out of town. And he bought some packs of Evolutions at the store. Just some single, I think they were blisters or sleeved boosters. And so I didn't realize that Pokemon was still a thing. I was like, oh, cool, Evolutions. And he's like, open them. So I opened a few packs in the back. And I kid you not, I got the reprint base set Charizard Holo in one pack. And then I got the Mega Charizard, I think full art textured in the next pack. And I was like, what is this? Why is there Japanese on the cards? Why does this look so cool? It's textured. What's going on? And then I went hard. I went hard into Evolutions. So this card's in decent shape. Probably not grade worthy. But it does look LP to me. So I'm going to put it over there. And so what I was doing is, I would buy packs. I think we've all been there where we start off and we're just ripping and we're enjoying the hobby and trying to collect. And then we realize that, hey, funny enough, I probably opened like 200 Evolutions packs and I never pulled that Charizard again for myself. And I tried to find it online and I think it was $12. And I was like, I could spend another couple hundred and never open it. Or I could just buy the single. This is really well damaged, but honestly, it's a decent binder copy. And so the damage you'll see probably there's some creasing on this top right corner. There's a creasing, crease right there. See how the light doesn't reflect properly? It's not like a flat surface. Right? But stuff like that is the biggest thing to look for. Find a good light, a good LED, could be a ring light too. Preferably get a white or dark background. And then, take your time. I double, triple check cards. My typical thing is when I first get them, I go through them. And I put aside ones I think are gradable, and then I'll go back and I'll look at them again when I'm thinking about submitting. I think some people don't do quite that much, but I'll look 2-3 times to make sure. And every time I'll either get a gut feeling about the centering, like this one. You can just tell by the left to right centering. That one's obviously OC. Not damaged though, but it does have surface scratches. Let's see if we can see those. Not quite. There you go. Right here. You can see that surface scratch, right? There's a few on the card there. There's some that are going up and down, left and right and stuff. So stuff that most people can't see if I just put the card there, right? And people are like, yeah. I mean, some might say LP. I'm not saying LP on that. That's MP for sure. Because most people, they look for the obvious stuff, right? You look for your whitening, edge wears, actual damage. And beyond that, people don't look too much. I have a card, and I'm not sure. I'll show you a great example, actually. Because this is something I bought or accepted as a trade-in at a show while vending. They wanted some stuff, and they said, hey, what of mine do you want? I said, I want this Pikachu. So let's just take a peek, right? Looking at it, it looks OC, right? I think it's a little crooked. It's skinnier down on this, the left border skinnier on this side and thicker up here, but I see, okay. OC, front looks good. Back looks pretty good, at least from there, right? I looked at it through the sleeve at the time. And then I ended up going on and looking, and see if I can get it on the camera for you, but there's surface issues here and a surface scratch here. It's not enough that you would feel it by running your finger over it, but you can see there's a few scratches on there. There's like one in there, right? But looking at it through a sleeve, when it's in a top loader, I didn't see any whitening on the edges or the corners. I see it's OC. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can live with that. It'd be a near mint copy. Take it home, look at it under the light. Oh, definitely not going in the grading pile, and I should probably now disclose the issues with it, which makes it just a little more work to sell it. Which is also why on trades, I'm going to try to stick around 80%. Yeah, so I go through them. Light is your best friend. Centering, honestly, is easy enough to tell for the most part. If you really want to get particular, you can use a little ruler and measure the two borders on the sides. I don't find a ton of cards too off-center top to bottom like this one. And of course, a lot of these cards, the centering can be way harder to look at when they don't actually have borders, right? So yeah, I go through this. This has nicks up in the top there. I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah, you can probably see those, hey? Little nicks there. So for me, there's no other real issues with this card. There's some whitening and stuff. So I would say it's, it's LP card, but it is light damage. So I would mark it as light damage on eBay, sell it on eBay, tell people to look at the pictures. Excellent binder copy if you just want a card to fill out your collection for master setting, like I used to, or whatever. It's a good way to get a good looking card in the binder for cheaper than an LP card would have gone for. Now, so this one's got weird symmetrical issues. Let's see if I can find a way to. Okay, so let's take a look at that. See this weird like crescent shape there. See that? But then if I look at it on this other side, it's got the same kind of thing there, right? But again, if I just put the card there, right? And if I take a photo of this, like I'm using a 4K camera for this, if I just take a photo of that, it looks pretty good, right? And I post it online and I say, hey, LP card, LP Dragonite EX from, what is that, Breakthrough? I forget what that is. It's been a while, but the little icon is what they used to do. You'd have a set logo all the way through Sword and Shield. And that one always, to me, just looked like a toilet. But yeah. So this one, it's got those dents in it. So to me, it's a light damage card. Excellent binder copy, not worthy of grading. These are the kinds of cards I would get. I would buy a collection off someone for 80 Canadian. You know, it'd be a binder or two of cards and a box of cards. And they wouldn't all be in the best shape because back then people weren't concerned about card condition. So this one's got surface scratches as well. They're not terrible. They're pretty well micro scratches. Obviously, we've got some whitening and chipping on the edges. Let's see if I can get... Maybe not. So there's some chipping on the edge there. You know, so a grader's going to deduct for edging like that. I said edging in a YouTube video. But I mean, overall, a card in this shape, to me, is perfect for eBay. I can get in there with good photos. And try to clearly articulate the condition. It's a little bit harder vending, I'm finding, in my limited experience, to sell some of these sort of cards with the imperfections. You got to spend more time outlining them, things like that. You got to market LP or whatever. And a lot of people now, at shows at least, they're not looking for LP copies of cards. XY era, maybe. So this one's got like a ton of these micro surface scratches. Let's see if I can kind of see it there. See? Tons of that micro scratches up and down the card. Certainly frustrating. But overall, the front looks decent. There is a micro dent down here. Let's see if I can get that in the light. Right there. See that? Beautiful card. I really should have bought more of these back in the day, but you know. So I don't foresee that I'm going to find many cards in this group for grading, being as old as it was and how people collected cards back then. This is sort of my process. And when I find a card that is that part of the artwork, or is that an actual cut? What is that? This line across, that must be part of the artwork. No, it's not part of the artwork. The sound waves are part of the artwork, but maybe. It lines up with his pupil. I'd have to look it up. Back, there's plenty of imperfections. Yeah, people just didn't care about the condition of their cards as much back then. Of course, in the 2020s is kind of when more people jumped into the hobby, were grading, cared about condition more, and now it's just bloody crazy. It seems like tons of people are just looking at shows for Gem Mint 10 candidates, and it's most of the vendors who are savvy enough will understand that if they think their card has a good shot of a 10, they're going to submit it themselves. So it's definitely tougher to find those cards, but sometimes you get lucky. That one's clear damage. You can see the creasing. I don't need to do a close-up there. I find these older cards damaged, but good binder conditions seem to do decent on eBay. Since when I opened my store, I sold quite a few old EXs in damage or light damage condition. Price them competitively to move them, get some transactions, some feedback. And then, of course, Canada Post goes on strike. So now I've got 20 packages that haven't been delivered, and no sign of them changing. So this one's got an interesting sort of damage up in the top there. Try to get my hands out of the way so that you can see there's that cut crease in the top there. So this is more or less my process. Going through all these cards. I don't need to go through all of these, but I'll show you some of the cool ones here. Primal Kyogre. Front looks good. Front looks pretty good. Little OC left to right. Back. Surface, largely pretty good. We've got the edge wear. Not a big deal. It's nice. It's a nice condition card. Perfect for the eBay store, or potentially a vending show. And I'll show you something else from here somewhere. So here's a perfect example of why checking the surface of cards is important. Guy was selling these. I got a good price on them. Was really happy with the price I got on them. His pictures, they look great. The cards looked awesome. They looked near mint. I was thrilled. And then I see them in person, and I do the same thing. These XY cards had such a glossy surface, it's honestly kind of annoying. And they feel kind of fake, but they're not. And then I flip on the back. This one's not near mint. We can see by the whitening on the edge, but it was a good condition card. And then I shine the light, and boom, damage. Corner bent up and a crease. As you can see there. So definitely not grading it. These cards, even in 7s, do pretty well compared to their counterparts in Raw, just because they're so hard to find in decent shape, and there's just so few of them because they weren't made at a time where Pokemon was speculative. So now I've got to move Venusaur's damaged. Got to move Blastoise as damaged. So OC as well, as you can tell. He's got a big right cannon, that's all. Front though, front looks pretty good. Got a little top right. Maybe we can see it there. You can see it right there on the edge. I flip it over. I look at it just plainly. I'm like, great. LP-ish, right? It was these two that were near mint and really caught my eye, at least in the pictures. And then I look, and because of the way that these cards were held, like in the package, you can see that there's bottom crease right there, right? And stuff like that is just, it's harder to tell. Pictures can be super deceiving because the lighting's not at the right angle. Yeah. This one has a similar issue on the back bottom, but it's not as bad. So I did card saver it. And Charizard was thankfully in better shape than the other three. No clear damage or creasing anywhere. On the bottom, it's possible that it had a sort of a similar thing, because you can see that there's some sort of wear in that same spot. I think that's where the holder was. So there's maybe a slight undulation there, the way that the light is reflecting off that bottom edge. But overall, awesome shape, I think. Probably be very light play on that one. I'm not sure I'd be able to say near mint on that. That's a tough one. Although it looks great, and I'm sure if someone just picked it up, looked at it through the sleeve at a show, they'd be like, damn, yeah, I'm buying it on the spot for your ask price. And then That's the only one that has a shot of being graded somewhat decently. In my mind, I think this Pikachu has to drop to a 6. So I don't think I can call it near mint, but I'm going to see how that bottom edge looks again. So that's it. I mean, you can do great pictures, and some sellers will give you clear pictures with light reflecting at different angles of all the imperfections on expensive cards, which is great. But always be wary of older cards, and you know, if the seller just has 2 pictures, right? If they just lay them out like this, and then they do their back picture, because if you see these 4 cards like this, and you're like, okay, we're talking here, and then you find the damage in person. It's a little tougher, but anyway, yeah, food for thought. Love these cards, they're beautiful. I shouldn't have much problem moving them in their current state. Yeah, I'll be hopefully doing submissions to PSA starting this month. They're opening a Canadian. Well, they already have one in Halifax that apparently wasn't great, and it was a bit of a nightmare. It wasn't easy to submit through like the American one. So we got damage on the corner there. But yeah, I'll be hopefully going back to my submission videos and content. I did a couple previously, which were pretty cool. I had some really unique stuff in there. But that's always fun content to see what kind of cards and stuff people have and people go through. But what do you guys think? Do you think grading's too hard to do? Or are you scared of grading? You just don't value it? What do you think? I think there's value, especially in the cards that you love, and having them at least encapsulated and protected for a long time. I do see people collecting Gem Mint 10 stuff or sets, you know, all the alt arts in Gem Mint 10 or all the hit cards in 10, stuff like that. I personally have a few slabs I like, but I also have a few slabs that I need to crack. I'm honestly not opposed to 8s. They're still near mint as far as PSA is concerned. And I guess a tip for you might be, see if you can find 8s cheaper than the raw price. Because it's no guarantee a raw card is an 8. So if you can find these at a discount, and because they are harder to move, people scoff at 8s in Modern for sure. Why would I want an 8? I want a 9. I can get a 9 at the raw price, so 8 has to be lower, right? That's kind of the thought around that. So buy 8s, maybe 7s, crack them, sell them as raw. You might find some action there. But yeah, I'm going to return to going through my XY hits. Some interesting stuff. Yeah, those would be important. Shining Gyarados, cool. I got more breaks than that. One of my favorite cards was the Full Art Mega Alakazam back in the day. Yeah, let me know. What do you think about grading? Do you grade yourself? Do you pre-grade your cards? Do you care? Are you just more of a person that wants to flip through their binder, check stuff out? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Peace.